What's up, you guys? Tonight I'm going to be playing the 5-5-10 bounty game at the Gardens, which is just like the 5-5-10 with a wild twist. So anytime a player wins 2 or more consecutive hands, everyone on the table owes them $25, which makes for one of the wildest games I've ever played in. Definitely the most wild public game there is probably in LA. So enjoy, hit that intro. Cheers.
With the guy Brantzen, who has the Brantzen poker logs.
Let's go, let's go.
Tell him he's got a lot of class, and it's all low.
Like I said, this bounty game is insanely crazy, and because it's crazy, I've experimented with different strategies to help decrease the variance and make it a little more manageable. I short buy for $500 and get Queen 10 off on the button. It's a $25 bomb pot, so we all see a flop of Queen 10 5 2 clubs. That's right, top 2 pair, and even better, a player from middle position bets $100. He has the bounty button, which means if he wins, he collects $25 from each player. So he wants to win. Well, I'm not slow playing my hand. If he wants a chance to win, he's gonna have to pay. I go all in for $460. He calls and we run it twice. First board comes King 7. Second board 4 Jack. He has 3-6 of clubs for a missed flush draw, and I scoop the pot. A little later, I pick up pocket 3s in the small blind. The hijack opens to $40. Only I call, and we're heads up to a flop of Queen 10 4. I make the standard check to the preflop raiser, and he checks back. The turn is another 10, and apart from a 3, I think this is a pretty good card. I think he would have likely bet the flop with a queen, and now it's less likely that he has a 10. I could have a 10, I could have a queen. I mean, even my pocket 3s might be the best hand right now. I bet $60 just hoping for a fold, and he does fold. He flashes pocket 9s, so definitely a good result. So now I have the bounty button, and I'm on the button, and I get a playable hand, Queen 10 of clubs. Action folds to me, and I open to $35. Then the straddle 3 bets to $110, and I'm not folding. I have the bounty, I have position, I have suited broadways. I make the call, and the flop comes Queen 8 deuce rainbow. Very nice, I flop top pair. The straddle continues for $120. I think raising would be an overplay and folding would be insane, so I call, and the turn comes the 4 of hearts. Now the straddle checks. It's a great sign. He probably wouldn't be checking with any overpairs or better queens, so I feel like I have the best hand. I bet $200. He folds, and I take it down. So I get the pot plus an extra $175 in bounty money.
The quicker picker-upper.
I'm not gonna lie, it feels really good getting the bounty, and even better, the very next hand, I get Ace King of Spades in the cutoff. So if I win again, I get the bounty money again. There's a $20 straddle this hand, so I open to $60, and then the straddle 3 bets to $220. Well, there's an interesting thing about this game. People never believe you have a good hand when you have the bounty button. They just think you're trying to win the bounty. So a lot of times people defend light or 3-bet light, and now when you pick up a premium, it's time to strike. I 4-bet all in for his remaining $475. He doesn't seem happy, but calls, and the runout is 10 queen queen 5 deuce. I show my cards, and he shows ace 5 offsuit. No! Bounty denied. A little time goes by, my stack dwindles, paying bounties, paying bomb pots. This game gets pretty expensive just having a seat. I pick up Jack King off in the button. The low jack who has the bounty limps. I raise to $45, and the small blind, big blind straddle, and low jack call. 5 ways to a flop of Jack 3-7 rainbow. Pretty ideal for my hand, so when the action checks to me, I bet $110. Then the big blind goes all in for $415. Everyone else folds, and with the size of his stack and the size of the pot, if he has a set, he's just gonna get me. I call. Hopefully he has a weaker jack. The turn is a 2, river 9, and he shows pocket 4s. So like I said, it's an insanely crazy game. All right, I have the bounty button. I pick up Jack 9 off in the cutoff. The hijack limps, and I have a decision. If I didn't have the bounty button, snap fold. But there's an extra $175 up for grabs if I win this hand, so I could limp, but I raise to $45 to try and thin the field a bit. Well, it doesn't work. The button small blind straddle and hijack call. Flop comes out 6, 7, 8 rainbow. It's pretty good. I have an open ended straight draw, and if I hit a 10, I have the super mega nuts. Still, when the action checks to me, I just check. As the bounty player, people are less likely to believe me, and so I'm not looking to play a super inflated pot. The button bets $100. Everyone folds to me. I think about raising, but just make the call and we're off to an ace on the turn. I check and he slows down and checks as well. The river is a 10, giving us the super mega nuts. And when he checked back turn, I put him on a lot of draw hands or pair plus draw hands, looking to see a river. Hands like 8-9 suited, 7-9 suited, 8-10 suited. I think he'll actually show up here with a straight a lot of the time now that the river is a 10. And I think about checking with the intention of check raising all in. However, if you saw my last video, it didn't work out so well. So instead, I bet huge $700 targeting a 9 or possibly a non believing 2 pair that thinks I'm going for it with the bounty. Well, he thinks about it, but eventually makes the call. I show my cards, he mucks, and I win a huge pot plus the bounty. Let's go! Whenever you have the bounty, you're praying to pick up a premium, but a lot of times you're just looking at a bunch of trash. So that's what happens, and I'm going to skip to my next playable hand. I get ace queen off in the big blind. There's a $20 straddle, and the hijack opens to $75. The cutoff and button both call. Actions on me. This seems like a great spot for a 3-bet. I make it $400. Folds back to the hijack, who then 4-bets to $1,000, and I am miserable. I think it's just a fold, and I fold. Moving on, I pick up king, queen of hearts in the big blind. The cutoff, button, and small blind who has the bounty all limp, and I'm not limping. I raise it up to $75. That's not scary at all in this wild, wild game, as they all call, and we're 4 ways to a flop of king 6-9 rainbow. Okay, great. Unless one of these guys have a set, I should have the best hand. Ace king wouldn't limp call pre-flop, and there's not a lot of probable 2-pair hands on this board. I start off with a bet of $125, and the cutoff and button both call. 3 ways to a turn that is a 5. I am a little worried about 7-8, but I still think I have to charge weaker kings and draws. I bet $300. The cutoff folds, the button calls, and now it's mono e mono to a river, which comes a 4. All right, glad I didn't get raised on the turn. I'm going for some thin value, targeting king jack or king 10. I bet $300 again. The button thinks for a while, but eventually makes the call. I show my cards, and he mucks. Queen 10 of diamonds in the hijack. The under the gun who has the bounty limps. The low jack limps. I'm not limping. I'm never limping. I raise to $55. The big blind calls, and the under the gun bounty calls. 3 ways to a flop of jack 5-4 rainbow. Action checks to me. This board doesn't smash my raising range, and I don't feel like bluffing into 2 other people. I check, and we all see a turn, which comes a king. Good card, I have an open-ended straight draw, and even better when both opponents check. All right, semi-bluff, I bet $85. The big blind folds, but then the under the gun goes all in for $530. So maybe he's just trying to make a move because he has the bounty, but I still just have queen high here. Any pair, even ace high, is pretty good against my hand. I'm just not getting the right price. I fold, and insult to injury, I have to pay another $25 for his bounty. All right, it's time for another Red Chip Poker hand of the day, the part of the show where I play a big hand and have my friends at Red Chip Poker tell me what I could have done different. I pick up pocket jacks in the big blind, the hijack limps, the button raises to $80, and then the small blind bounty 3-bets to $240. Well, he has the bounty, so he'll likely be 3-betting wider. Pocket jacks is a premium. Okay, here we go. I put in the 4-bet to $625. Action folds back to the small blind. He's in the tank, but eventually makes the call, and we're off to a flop of Queen 7-8 rainbow. Well, it's not the best flop, but definitely not the worst flop. I'm glad there's no ace. When he tank calls my 4-bet, I put him on hands like ace-king, ace-queen, pocket nines, pocket tens. Anyways, he checks to me. I'm going to c-bet quite frequently when I 4-bet. I bet $400, and he calls. The turn is a 4. Good, it's a brick, and he checks again. All right, now I'm targeting those pocket nines and pocket tens. I go for another small bet of $400, and he calls again. River is another 4. He checks. I have roughly $1,100 left in my stack, but I think it's too thin to go for more value. I'm happy to just check back. He shows ace king. I show my hand, and I take it down. I asked Red Chip Poker what they thought about the hand. They liked my line, but suggested that a spicy overbet jam on the flop for $1,900 could have been worth thinking about. They said Jacks is most likely good on that board, and if it's not, it's only about a 1.5 stack to pot ratio. I think that's an interesting suggestion. Also, if you are looking to improve your poker game, Red Chip Poker has a great program called Core that's only $5 a week, so go check that out. I pick up pocket queens in the straddle. Today is going very well. There's a $20 double straddle. The cutoff raises to $50. The small blind calls. Here we go. I 3-bet to $250. Only the cutoff calls, and we're heads up to a flop of Jack 4-6, 2 diamonds. Put out a small c-bet of $200. He folds, and I take it down pretty quick. And then, playable bounty hand, more than playable. Ace Queen of Hearts on the big blind, the under the gun and small blind limp for $10. Time for me to raise the price. I make it $65, and both the under the gun and small blind call. Flop comes out 3-6-8 rainbow. Not good for my range, not good for my hand. So when the small blind checks, I check, and the under the gun checks back. The turn is the 10 of hearts. This is good. I have 2 overs, the nut flush draw. But when the small blind checks, I decide to check again. I just want to realize my equity here. But the under the gun has other plans. He goes all in for $265. Small blind folds, action's on me, and I don't love it. I have a good draw, but really I just have ace high for now, and this is over the size of the pot. A couple considerations though. If I win this, I'll get an extra $150 in bounty money, and I know this player is capable of bluffing, so maybe my ace high is good. Okay, I call. We run it twice. First river is a 10. Second river is a 3. I brick both, but after showing my cards, he mucks, so I scoop the pot plus the extra bounty money. Let's go! I took down a few pots after that, but nothing super significant for the rest of the session. Eventually, I decided to rack up and call it a night.
All right, so I am recording the outro from the safety of my car. It is locked because you guys are always worried about my safety. Thank you guys for always being looking out for me. But anyways, tonight was crazy. So I ended up starting off on the regular 5-5-10 and lost about $100 there. And then moved over to the 5-5-10 bounty game once, like after 20 minutes or so. And I was in for $500 on the bounty game. And guys, I cashed out for $5,043 for a profit of $45.43 on the bounty game, minus the 100 from the 5-5-10. So like $44.43 for the day. Really feels good. And with that, I am out of the downswing officially at the peak of my profits for the year, which is really nice because having that, like, I had about like an 8 or 9K downswing, and now I'm back up at the highest point for this year. Feels really good. And yeah, tonight I felt really good about my playing. I think I just wanted to play well and not make, just do my best to always make the best decision that I can make. So it might not be the perfect decision, but I'm always going to try my best to make the best decision that I feel I'm capable of. Anyway, I hope you guys can do the same. I hope you guys run well, and I will see you in the next one.